You were not born by accident, nor are you the result of a random sequence of events. Before your mother knew your name, before your father held you in his hands, there was already a conversation in heaven about your existence. You are not here just to survive, to work, to pay bills, and to die. You are a deliberate idea in the mind of God, wrapped in human skin, sent to earth for a divine reason. Every detail about you, your personality, your passions, your pain, even your past, has been carefully woven into the fabric of your assignment. You are sent, not just born. You are not the product of chance or human planning. You are the result of divine intention. That is why life keeps pushing you, stretching you, and calling you into more. It's because there is something in you that the world needs. Your presence on this planet is the answer to a question, a solution to a problem, a light to a dark place, and a voice to the voiceless. Your uniqueness is not a weakness, it is evidence of your mandate. God never creates anything without purpose, and that includes you. There is a reason your spirit won't rest in average. There is a reason ordinary never fits. It's because the call on your life is greater than what you've seen. The enemy didn't fight you because of your past. He fought you because of your potential. He saw what you didn't. He knew that if you ever discovered who you really are, if you ever walked in the authority of your assignment, you would shake nations and shift atmospheres. That's why you had to go through what you went through, not to destroy you, but to develop you. You are being prepared for impact. Every chosen one carries weight. And that weight is not to crush you, but to prove that you're built for the call. When you understand that you are a mission, you stop chasing approval and start pursuing purpose. You don't beg for validation. You walk in revelation. You stop asking, why me, and start declaring, why not me? Because if God chose you, he equipped you. If he sent you, he empowered you. The call confirms the capacity. And tonight, as you stand in this moment of divine recognition, know this: you are not a mistake. You are a mission in motion. And your reward is the confirmation that heaven is backing your assignment. Before time began, God had already completed what he would later start in you. He is not bound by time like we are. He lives in eternity, where the end and the beginning exist in the same moment. When God speaks a word over your life, he's not guessing, hoping, or experimenting. God never initiates a thing unless it is already completed in eternity. What he begins in time has already been concluded in the unseen realm. This is why you must not fear the process or question the timing. You're not moving toward an uncertain outcome. You're unfolding a finished work. Your life is not a trial and alter project. It is the execution of a pre-approved plan. What may look like delayed to you is simply the alignment of time with divine fulfillment. Heaven doesn't improvise. God declares the end from the beginning and then begins from the end. That means your destiny is not a guess, it's a guarantee. You're never called to figure out everything, only to trust the one who has already written the outcome. While you are waiting, heaven is watching. While you are walking, God is working. Even in moments where it seems like nothing is happening, something is always being prepared behind the scenes. The silence of God is not the absence of God. It is the sound of his strategy unfolding. He is never rushed, never surprised, never adjusting the plan. You may have cried, struggled, or questioned, but none of it was in vain. Every step was factored in. Every detour was accounted for. Every loss was measured against the final reward. Because God finishes before he starts. Your job is not to worry about how it will end. Your focus is to walk in obedience and trust. If he began a good work in you, he is faithful to complete it. He's not guessing. He's not gambling, he is fulfilling. And when you step into moments like tonight, what you are experiencing is not luck, not chance. It is a manifestation of something God finished long before you knew it began. Faithfulness is the currency of the kingdom. Heaven does not pay attention to applause, platforms, or public approval. It measures consistency in private places. While men are busy counting followers, God is counting sacrifices. While the world celebrates performance, heaven honors persistence. The reward that is being released tonight is not the result of visibility. It is the fruit of your commitment when no one was watching. You kept going when it wasn't glamorous. You served when it wasn't celebrated. You obeyed when it cost you everything. And because of that, your name rose before the throne like incense. Faithfulness is not perfection, it is trust in action. It is showing up when it would have been easier to quit. It is saying yes again and again, even when your flesh screamed no. It is doing what God said, even when no doors seem to open. That kind of faithfulness moves heaven. God rewards it not because you earned something, but because you proved your heart was aligned with His. You were tested and you stayed true. That's what qualifies the chosen. Not talent, not image, not reputation, but obedience under pressure. The reward that comes to the faithful is not always flashy, but it is always fulfilling. It shifts seasons. It opens realms. It places you in rooms you didn't campaign for and brings provision you never begged for. When God sees faithfulness, He responds with favor, not because you demanded it, but because you demonstrated that you could be trusted. Tonight, as reward is released, remember this. It didn't come because you were seen by people. It came because you were known by God. You were not sent here to impress, but to fulfill. Purpose is the reason for your existence. It is not a hobby or a side project. It is the assignment etched into your spirit before time began. And heaven does not release rewards based on how much you've done, but how aligned you've been with the original intent of your life. You could build 1,000 things and still miss your reward if none of it matched your purpose. But when you step into who you truly are, when you begin to walk in what you were born to release, purpose is what gives meaning to the pain, structure to the process, and power to your persistence. It is not always loud, but it is always clear. You don't chase it, you uncover it. And once you walk in it, everything that was once a struggle begins to flow with divine ease. Tonight's reward is not just for your efforts, it's for your alignment. You stop running after what others expected and began living what God designed. That kind of obedience draws heaven's attention. That kind of clarity invites favor that no man can explain. When you are in purpose, resources recognize you, doors respond to you, and time begins to work for you. You don't have to manipulate, impress, or hustle for what's already yours. The reward is simply a reflection of you arriving at the intersection of purpose and divine timing. It is heaven's way of saying you did what I sent you to do. Not what was popular, not what was easy, but what was eternal. That's why tonight is different. It's not a celebration of what you've gained. It's a confirmation of who you've become. God does not measure time the way man does. While we are obsessed with clocks, calendars, and deadlines, heaven moves according to fulfillment. Divine timing is not about hours or days. It's about when purpose is ready to be revealed. What may seem delayed in your eyes is often right on schedule in the realm of the Spirit. God does not operate within the confines of human expectations. He is not controlled by the ticking of a watch, but by the alignment of seasons, obedience, and maturity. There are things you prayed for years ago that did not happen, not because God ignored you, but because the moment wasn't full, the soil wasn't ready, the character wasn't shaped, the environment wasn't prepared. God will never give you a harvest in a season of immaturity. He waits until the conditions match the calling. When fulfillment meets preparation, time obeys. That's when doors open without explanation. That's when things shift suddenly. Not because the clock struck a certain hour, but because destiny reached divine readiness. You may have wondered why it took so long. You may have felt overlooked or forgotten. But the truth is, nothing was wasted. Every delay was development. Every pause was protection. Every closed door was a setup for a fuller moment. What you're walking into tonight is not late, it's mature, it's whole, it's ready. Being chosen does not exempt you from process, it guarantees it. The weight of your calling demands the strength of your character, and character is only forged in the furnace of preparation. God will never reward what he has not refined. Before crowns are given, crosses are carried. Before platforms are granted, pressure is applied. This is why your journey has not been easy. It's not because you were forsaken. It's because you were being formed. To be chosen is to be called into a process that strips, shapes, and strengthens. It is not punishment, it is pruning. God is too wise to promote someone who cannot sustain the weight of the assignment. He loves you too much to let you walk into promise unprepared. So he allows seasons that crush your pride, test your obedience, and expose your true motives. Not to destroy you, but to build a foundation that your reward will rest on. Many are gifted, but few are grounded. And the grounding only comes through process. The wilderness is not a detour, it is a classroom. It is where faith is purified, vision is clarified, and trust is deepened. God hides his chosen in obscurity, not to keep them from the world, but to prepare them for it. If you've been overlooked, isolated, or misunderstood, it's a sign that you are in process. Heaven doesn't skip steps. Before David wore the crown, he endured caves. Before Joseph sat on the throne, he was locked in prison. That's the pattern of the chosen. You don't get to skip the breaking if you want to carry the blessing. And tonight's reward isn't just about what you've received, it's about what you've survived. Every trial that didn't take you out was training. Every disappointment was direction. Every delay was discipline. The reward is not just for what you did, it's for who you became in the process. You were crushed, but not cursed. Pressed, but not abandoned. The fire didn't burn you, it branded you. And now, when the reward comes, it's not just a gift. It's a confirmation that you passed the test. When God rewards, he does more than bless. He promotes. A divine reward is not merely the receiving of something tangible. It is the recognition of readiness. It is a shift in spiritual authority, a transfer of weight, a commissioning into a greater dimension of influence and responsibility. God does not release reward simply to make you feel good. He does it to position you for more. A true reward from heaven is an elevation of rank in the realm of the spirit. It's not about having more stuff. It's about being entrusted with more power, more territory, more souls, and more impact. This is why rewards often come after seasons of warfare and weariness. You had to be tested because God wasn't just giving you a blessing, he was handing you keys. Authority is never cheap. It's forged in hidden battles, in silent obedience, in moments when you could have compromised but chose consecration instead. Heaven does not hand over authority lightly. It looks for those who have been faithful with little, so they can be trusted with much. The reward is not proof that you arrived, it's confirmation that you've been entrusted. When your reward shows up, what's really happening is a divine endorsement. God is saying, now you're ready to carry what others couldn't. Now you can be a voice in places you once only dreamed of entering. Now you can speak and things shift, decree and things move. With reward comes responsibility, and with responsibility comes influence that is backed by heaven. You become a representative of the King, not just in title, but in authority. The weight you carry is different. The atmosphere around you responds differently because God has shifted your seat in the Spirit. This is why tonight is not just a celebration, it's an activation. The reward is not just a sign of favor, it's a sign of commissioning. You've moved from being processed to being positioned, from being prepared to being propelled. And with that promotion comes a call to steward the influence with humility, integrity, and boldness. Because what you carry now isn't just about you, it's about the people attached to your obedience. The doors that must open through your words, and the freedom that must flow through your presence. A reward from God is heaven's announcement that you've been trusted with authority. Use it well. So tonight, May 8, 2025, is not just a date on the calendar. It is a divine appointment etched into eternity. Everything you've walked through, everything you've endured, everything you've obeyed, and everything you've resisted has brought you to this moment. Heaven is not guessing. Heaven is not reacting. Heaven is releasing. And you, yes, you are standing in the fulfillment of what was spoken before time began. You were not forgotten. You were not overlooked. You were processed for purpose, prepared through pressure, and now positioned for reward. This reward is not just the evidence of God's favor, it is the echo of his faithfulness. It is his confirmation that you've been tested, trusted, and now empowered. So take this reward not with pride, but with purpose, not just as a gift, but as a call. This is your shift. This is your moment. This is your release. The heavens have spoken. Chosen one, God said you'll be rewarded tonight. And so it is.